how you guys doing? So I just am doing a voice recording right now. I'm gonna do a voiceover. I'm hoping to make a decent video of me just shooting around with really my AR build, and I wanted to go over the complete idea of my build. I know I've said it a lot of times, you know, and I wanted to kind of clarify it. Since I got the AR and I built it, and you know, I'm now shooting it regularly, and you know, working on getting the accessories for it. So whenever you look into doing a AR build, a lot of people look into the 14.5 inch barrels with like the 1.5 inch you know, muzzle brakes or whatever to make it 16 inches. So you're really looking at about 16 inches. Not many people really want to go longer than that. It does add a little bit of weight, and depending on the type of barrel you get, it adds a lot of weight. So that's, you know, and then you get past 16 inches, you have to go you know, to different gas systems excuse me, like from a carbine gas system to a mid-length or a rifle length, and that adds a little bit of money, and that also adds you know, really kind of takes away some of the accessories you can get for certain ARs, depending on what you want to build. So whenever I decided that I wanted to build a AR, I wanted to be a little bit different. I already have, and I know it's a bolt action, but I already have a 16 inch long 5.56 bolt action gun, and I know it's not an AR, but I mean, I got the general consensus of it, and it's not the most accurate thing out past 200 yards, and I wanted something that I could, you know, possibly take varmint hunting, coyote hunting out past, you know, 500 yards roughly. Just remember, roughly. I also wanted something that would be able to stabilize a heavier bullet. I live in PA, and they just passed pretty much getting rid of the law saying you can't hunt with semi-autos. Now, not quite with deer yet, but I did want to get a barrel twist rate that would be able to stabilize the little bit heavier bullets, just in case they ever do. You know, buy once instead of buy twice, right? So that made me look at right around the 1 to 8 twist ratio, twist rate, and really I like that, the idea of that. It's not quite a 1 to 7, which I don't really like a 1 to 7, because sometimes you hear that they can't stabilize the 55 grain, which is a lot of what's out there, and that's a lot of the cheap stuff too. So I don't want to have to, I want to be able to shoot those cheaper rounds. So I got the barrel rate figured out. That's good. Well, then I also wanted to get a little bit of a longer barrel to be able to shoot the longer shots, and so I was looking either at an 18 inch or a 20 inch, and I was looking at the 20 inch for the longest time. But then one thing that came to my mind was I really wanted to be able to use this AR for many other things other than just a SPR, many other things other than a varmint gun or a hunting gun. I wanted to be able to use it inside if I had to, as a self-defense situation, and you know, be maneuverable with it. Well, so then that kind of threw out the 20 inch long barrel idea. I mean, you can still do it, but 18 inches gives you, you know, it brings 2 inches back, so it makes it a little bit more maneuverable and a little bit more lighter weight. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Now, the idea behind an SPR, which stands for Special Purpose Rifle, I believe it was the Mark 18, I forget exactly what rifle it was in the military that was the first designated SPR, but either way, it is a gun that is definitely a little bit heavier than the regular M4, and it is longer as well, but it is able to reach out you know, those long distances. There's two designations for these kind of like long range, still in the 5.56 caliber range, and that is a DMR and an SPR. A DMR, designated marksman's rifle, is normally a 20-inch barrel. You're looking at rifle length gas system, and also 1:8 twist rate normally. And you know, I kind of like that idea, but at the same time I didn't. So I really wanted the 18-inch barrel, like I was saying. So then, well, that's kind of brings into the SPR, which is normally an 18-inch barrel, 1:8 twist rate. So these are all fine and dandy, but what good is an 18-inch barrel going to do out of the 5.56 chamber? We all know the 5.56 you can shoot in a 5.56 chamber, you can shoot a 223 or a 5.56. Not vice versa. You can't really shoot a 5.56 out of a 223 chamber. The reason is that there's a little bit more pressure, and the neck is a little bit longer than the 5.56. Not by much though. So whenever it all kind of comes down to that, I was thinking to myself, well, do I want a 5.56 chamber? I mean, the next option for me was a 223 wild chambering, which is actually a new chambering that is designed right in between a 5.56 and a 223 chamber. The one problem with a 5.56 chamber is that tolerances aren't nearly as tight as they are on a 223 chamber. You get a 223 chamber, you know, like a bolt action gun, like a varmint gun, they are crazy. They're stupid accurate. Well, 5.56, you know, it's pretty accurate out of a 5.56 chamber, but you know, it's not nearly as accurate. Why is that? Tolerances are looser. So this 223 wild chambering is a hybrid in between a 223 chamber and a 5.56, allowing a little bit looser tolerances than the regular 223 chamber, but a heck of a lot tighter tolerances than 5.56. Also, it's a little bit heftier built in the throat area, so that it can withstand a little bit higher pressures that the 5.56 does create. Well, so right there, I got the barrel down pat. An 18-inch, 1:8 twist rate, and also it is a 223 wild chambering. Well, you know what? I was like, how about I look at some guns that are out there for sale, and you know, complete guns that are out there for sale that fit this pattern. And I'm looking, and the cheapest gun I am finding, granted this is during Black Friday, so the prices are a little bit lower. Cheapest gun I'm finding is $1,500. I don't know about you. I'm a college student. I'm not spending $1,500 on a freaking gun. Not right now in my life. I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to. So then I looked into building one. Well, then I was like, you know what? I can have everything I want. So I already picked out the barrel. Well, and I actually found a place called Daytona Tactical. My uncle got all of his parts from them whenever he built his 80% lower AR, and including the jig and everything like that. And so I was like, you know, I'll give them my business and see how it is, see how they work. And you know, and my grandpa or my uncle loved working with them and being able and buying from them. Their prices are great, and honestly, their customer service is pretty good too. Yeah, I mean, not bad. So I got the upper from them at a really good price, and I got a lower. And whenever you come into looking into lowers, this is where a lot of people put money into buying a complete or a regular 100% lower and then put it in a bunch of parts. Well, I decided to get a completed lower. Everything's already assembled for me. I don't need to worry about anything such as the buffer tube, you know, the trigger assembly and anything like that. And it was actually an Aero Precision built, sold by Surplus Arms and Ammo for right around $230 on Black Friday. I was able to pick that up at that price, and it works very well. The regular mil-spec trigger could use a little bit of work, but it's really not that bad. So, you know, and especially for an SPR build, you want to have a good trigger. So I'm going to be getting some anti-walk springs, and I'm going to be polishing the trigger whenever I have it out, just to see how it is. Because I mean, that for $12, you know, that's pretty much, you can do a lot to that trigger for just 12 bucks. You can do tremendous amount of work. See how it is. It might surprise you guys. So anyways, that is kind of my SPR build. I have a 3-9 by 32 scope on there now, and I'm going to be getting some 45-degree offset iron sights. By the time I put this video, I might have them on there. I don't know. You know, so the real question whenever you're talking about an AR build is, what do you want? I mean, it's a very simple thing. You like, pick out what barrel you want, and that really helps out. You can buy some decently priced AR-15s with the regular 16-inch barrel, but if you want anything special, you're going to be paying for it, and that's going to be better to build. But anyways, I'm getting towards the end of my drive. I'm not going to be able to spend much more time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got a little bit out of me of babbling around, you know, while I'm trying to drive on snowy roads. So don't try that at home, kids. All right, thank you. Like and subscribe.